Gerald, can you hear me now?
Know what, chat? Give me some tunes while we wait.
Gerald, can you hear me now?
Vote in chat. What do you want? You want OS video game
curated
video game soundtracks?
No,
You want
that's wrong.
mashups from
Gerald, can you hear me?
Neil Cicierega? Do you want mashups from Ellie Spectacular?
Can you hear me?
Or yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, good. I fixed
Or
it.
blues or classical?
No,
No, we haven't done classical before. Primordial, to go with our primordial film slot. Is Burr in chat?
No, Neko is in chat.
I think the shared chat might be working correctly. Did you enable shared chat?
I had pushed. Wasn't one of the things that I had pushed to mute? Where's push to mute?
Oh. Shared chat's not working. You don't can hear me?
Yeah, you've been talking this whole time, eating your ice cream.
It's pretty good ice cream.
It is. It's
flavor is
Is that
probably
from Neil?
butter.
Ellie Spectacular? What'd you say? Oh, it's chocolate peanut butter ice cream. Yeah.
Yeah, I said that. Of course it's good.
Man,
It's chocolate and peanut butter.
Exactly.
I love trying to make my
So we're all
my
voted
employees
for
look
Ellie
as
Spectacular.
possible.
So we're getting Ellie Spectacular. I'm gonna have to fiddle.
Ism, what did you say?
I said I love making my character look as
stupid
stupid as possible.
Some Ellie Spectacular.
You can do it inside the game too.
Can?
Yeah. Just hit escape. It's in the lower right hand corner.
You got the lobby up?
Yeah, we're in here.
Oh. Yeah, we're in here. Yeah. No, I mean. Wait, what? I don't understand. Whatever.
Wait, I don't know if I started our chats being joined. I didn't start it. Oh my god.
Yay. There it is. It took them long enough.
I'm sorry. You should have told me. I forgot. Is Foley coming?
I probably should have put you guys on please wait chat. Ding. Follow you with the cat jam.
Is Foley coming?
True Gerald heads. The Gerald dance.
Why do we have an echo of Gerald?
Keep knocking on the door, man. Hell yeah, extra Gerald. Hell yeah. We love extra Gerald. Extra Geraldian activities. What was I gonna do? Oh yeah. How much dollars? 10. Well, that's what I was hearing.
Gerald.
What?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Is Folly coming?
Folly, you're not, yeah, no, Folly's not coming. He's got TTRPG.
Okay.
What song is this? It's from Ellie Spectacular's Sweus album. It's up in the corner up there. I think it's the first one. No, it's the first real one after the intro song, which like is kind of barely a song. It's a little bit loud actually, so I'm gonna turn it down.
Sid isn't home yet. Lisa can't come.
Well, usually I do this via a limiter. Do I have a limiter? That's fine. Water on myself. Oh, condensation.
Ugh.
Minerva? I got pranked. Tism pranked me.
At least you didn't get stuck inside of it.
Funny. Joke's on him. It's gone forever now.
Alright, so the only people who answered, 2 can't come and 1 is not home yet, so it's just the 3 of us.
Got nudged.
Okay, do we need any flashlights to start?
Any what?
Flashlights, who would like a flashlight?
The flashlights? I don't need them. I got Toad Eye.
Tism?
I'm Toad-ally tubular.
Don't need one, I just stand spam.
Okay. Wait. Oh, I forgot. Moons. We actually have to say where we're going. It looks like none of them have any. That's weird. They're all clear.
Let's go to the biggest one then.
Okay. I am unfamiliar with this planet.
Oh. I think you might recognize it when we land.
It has been a long time since I've played Lethal. I haven't played it, like, steadily since they added New Moons. And the robots, and the baby, and, you know, player. What, like, it doesn't even tell us our names?
Prism, you didn't commit. We were supposed to both do it. He's gone.
There's
Prism, you
Gerald.
didn't commit.
Oh, if that's on and off. Okay, Gerald. Prism. Me. Alright, we're gonna leave this on Gerald. And then we're gonna go. Oh, jeez. I hit tab like that was gonna show me the map. This isn't repo. Oh, this is the one with the... This is the one with that long bridge that you can only walk across like once. Come on. I've seen Gale do this 100 times. I can do it. Fine. I am no pirate captain. Which one is their music? The whole point of this game was to be creepy. Oh, I've got some input lag. I actually have a rather significant amount of input lag. That's not good. Wait, do I have any other streams running? I do. And why?
Robot. Leon's a robot. Leon's a robot. Ha ha.
Alright, now if those aren't running, how do I do? Did I freeze entirely? No! Did that actually make it worse? How did turning off 2 streams in the background make it worse? Oh, there's nothing up here. I should not go that way because I'm just gonna walk up. Wow. That was so much lag.
I can't see shit.
Yeah. We might have to go back to basic. We might have to go back to without mods because I can't fucking move. That is a thumper. I'm leaving.
Leon,
Yeah.
you should pick up this toilet paper.
I
It's
can't.
got great visibility to it.
No. I have so much input lag, like, it takes me 5 seconds to stop. It will kill me. Literally, I think I'm gonna have to turn the mods off.
I mean, we don't.
I would say hi, Dragon, but you're not in my chat. Jerk.
Leon, there's an egg.
Why are you on the bridge with me? I blame you. Oh great, it's locked. And it sounds like there's already a forest giant out. I'm gonna get 8. This isn't supposed to be this hard. After we get back on the ship, we're gonna have to reload in basic. It's just ridiculous. It shouldn't be like this. I know I've got a potato for a computer, but come on. Wow. They killed him. Listen, just take the toilet paper and go away. I don't want the toilet paper. Just take it and go away.
Get out of here! Get out of here! You... Fuck!
I can't move.
My items, wait.
I got eaten.
Okay, I got this.
I got eaten, chat.
I got
Uh-oh,
this.
he's gonna flashbang. I can't move, Tism.
I'm great.
Observational skills, Leon.
I heard you the first time.
I got my wish. Owned. Free key. Yeah. Best player. Gerald Violence Bulletin. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna have to
extracted
turn
the
them
key,
off.
No big deal.
We're gonna have to turn off the mods.
Turn off
Since there's
what?
only 3 of us, it doesn't really matter. And start normal because
Oh, really?
I have
What's wrong
so
with
much input lag that I cannot move.
Okay. That was a warm-up.
All right, we're gonna go in and just start it like normal. Sorry, chat. Give us just a minute. Online. Dragon, I can't believe you hate that song. I like the wolf something version of Zombie.
I don't even know.
You don't know the song he's talking about?
I'm probably playing a version of it right now. Hold on, let me... Is it on right this moment?
I would not be able to tell you.
Dragon says that song insists upon itself.
I can read chat. Dragon, I'm right here.
What?
And you spelled Leon wrong. Unless you're being funny with the X.
Paying the rights to what? Oh. I might have to buy one, depending on the price.
By
What's
what?
that, like, deep that they make in India?
What's the what they make in India?
Again. There's like a diesel Jeep that they make in India that you can import. Tism said that yeah. Tism said that a company in the Philippines is now producing the original Jeep or to sell it to people.
I never turned back on Discord, so I cannot hear Tism.
Oh. Well, I just soft deafened, so now I can't until he gets back in. No more cosmetics. Damn.
Sorry.
I don't get to be a frog no more.
I mean,
Oh,
you're
I
still
get it,
a
I
frog,
get it.
you just don't look like one.
Exactly. Oh, we still have the key?
Yeah, this is the same save
We
file.
extracted with the key? Oh, okay. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite us. But it shouldn't, hopefully. It's pretty small.
There he is.
In-game mic sensitivity is super low.
Yeah, you're very quiet.
It changed that.
I've got you at max
Trying to
volume.
change the input sensitivity.
Holy shit.
No volume, no input sensitivity. There's no setting for sensitivity.
Are we ready to land? Oh, I'm asking you if you're still working on it or if you're ready.
I'm ready at any point.
Okay. Just trying to be nice. I know you boys aren't used to it.
These boys aren't what?
Used to people being nice. Asking if you're ready and shit.
It's because I run on the fuck it we ball mentality.
I've just been abused all my life. It's the face. Oh, we're getting. No, my worst.
It's so dark. On the fire exit. Still have a little bit of input lag. I don't know what it's from. That must be above us. I got on my way? No. How did you pick that up before me? It's just, I walked up to something and I went to pick it up and it was already gone and Tism wasn't even in my sight. I'm like, how did you get that before me?
He's just got these massive, huge lag spikes. So.
Go. Go.
Autism. There's the stomper. You are the stomper.
This place is nothing but a maze.
Found a key.
Jesus, how far does this go? I haven't even found any. Uh, uh. Well, I hope that wasn't somebody dying.
What?
Am I technically under that? I'm not going under there. There's so many other places to go.
Hello?
I have nothing. Oh God. Well, that's it for me.
What Leon said about I hope that isn't someone dying.
Yeah. That was me dying.
Found another key.
I didn't find a
I
single
got
piece of anything.
You can just walk behind the turret if you go around.
Find Leon's dead corpse body.
I'm holding it.
Oh, good, good. You want to take it back? Let's go. He wants to remember his name.
He almost got shot there. He almost got shot there.
Squeakers.
Oh, he's got a bird on his head. That's awesome. It's trying to fly away with him. I wonder if my body is weighing him down enough that it can't pick him up. Are there two of them now? Oh, they left. Nice. Did I catch him just leaving the building, or is he lost? Pretty hard to get lost on March, though. There it is. Ah. Things are so hard to open. Self-care, everybody. Self-care. He's stuck on the door? Or am I lagging? I am worth $5 whole. I wonder what that was in the... There aren't any worms on this planet. I wonder if that was a giant. What's Gerald doing? Oh, he's gonna grab the thing.
You did have the power within you. You did have the power within you to fucking...
Chisholm, where are you going? You're going back in? Are you crazy? He's already pulled. He already pulled the asparagus. The place is gonna be crawling with monsters. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was grabbing the motor.
Oh my god. Wait, is this? Pause. Got to pause the replay.
Get the fuck out of here! Get the fuck out of here!
Being loud does not scare those things away.
There we go.
It
Come here.
large numbers scare that thing away.
Well,
Let's see how much.
Chile, 23 months, almost years.
Ooh, nice
Yeah, we got
chili.
Thank you.
103 and a spare key.
We got another day. We got another day. I got 2 keys. Welcome to the stream, Chili. I assume, I don't know if you're here or...
I'm alive.
Yay! Yay, Leon!
Chili, are you eating a chili dog for lunch?
You want to play a little Lethal Company?
He's on lunch.
Just like old times, ancient days.
Do you want to stay here on March?
March is fine.
It's nice and clear here.
Oh, we turned off mods actually.
Yeah, we turned off mods because I was having some lagging issues.
Presently. Yeah. And before we only had like 12, so.
Yeah, it was mostly background stuff. It was more company was the important one, and I left in the VR one for Gerald and some customizable things. That's it.
Oh, there was the physics. There was just no titties.
Oh yeah, I got rid of the suits and then I forgot to get rid of the jiggle physics. I'm sorry, you have to pick up your girlfriend in a couple of hours, but you can't come join us in the meantime? The fuck?
It's a couple hours round trip.
Yeah, but he said in a couple of hours.
Well, I'm just teasing.
I'm probably really quiet because I'm nowhere near him half the time. I wonder if that was Tism dying. Yeah. No, it's through Discord. Or not through Discord, it's through the game. No! Not again!
I feel like I'm getting
Son of a
on that.
bitch.
It's very formula.
I am so
Oh, I see.
upset that I keep dying to the gun.
Yeah, we don't do that weird.
And I'm
shit
in
all
here with the two fucking gun nuts. This
Emergency
isn't fair. Why aren't they getting shot? Ah. What's Tism up to? Tism found a trash can lid.
Hogged and bombed. Keep forgetting this thing. It's one of those that don't use. One of those don't use this. Let's see its laser until it's on
Found a trash lid.
I don't think I'll
The
go.
turret, I'm guessing.
I love the way he says Tourette. Did the trash lid actually save him?
Yeah, that's what the trash lid's for.
Son of a bitch.
No way does it shield.
Yeah, it kind of does. It blocks like a third of the damage. So I think I'm gonna leave this trash lid behind and get Leon's body.
Aww,
Yep.
my hero. Hi, Chisholm. Guess what? We died to different turrets.
Okay.
I knew that one was there too. I knew it was there.
It's just the guns showing their appreciation for how much you love them. Shall we be assholes and vote to leave early? Tism. I wonder if Tism went AFK. No? Then are you ignoring me? Are you ignoring me? How dare you ignore me?
I think we did.
I'm gonna leave.
Yeah,
I don't
but
trust it.
did you hear me
I
say
just
that?
do not trust like that. No how, no way.
Should we be assholes and vote to leave early and make him run?
Let him figure it out.
Oh. I thought you were a chaos type, Tism.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
found
Our
out
run
what you
kind
guys-
of depends on him making it to the door.
Mm-hmm.
I'm catching whiffs in real life, though.
Our run depends on this frog making it to the door. We're gonna give him.
What are you eating? I demand to know what you've put in your mouth.
Smart Money is on. Is that you?
Hi, Gerald.
Not hung up on a dang pipe.
We're like walking in circles for so long. All scrap lost. Oh no.
Well, looks like we're dead.
There are 0 days left.
Wait. We got $20. We got $20.
The keys never work.
Keys are worth 20.
Gosh dang. That was a warm up. This one's real.
Every time I have tried to sell keys, they come back as zero money, even though it says they're worth like $2 each or something.
This is your very own autopilot ship. Where
Oh
you
my
will
God,
be
shut up.
asleep for the duration.
Oh, you can turn that off?
Yeah.
So you just press E on it.
On what? Oh.
What is an Asmund Gold Arc?
Oh, are you talking about how? Are you talking about how he had his room cleaned by a hazmat team and then immediately had like his first ever liberal thought?
What was the
Room
thought?
got professionally cleaned and then he immediately went, I sympathize with trans people.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Famous streamer Asmongold, known for living in horrible filth.
Yeah, had his room professionally cleaned, and then literally the same day said, sympathize with trans people.
What does that have to do with each other? I am so
Was
lost.
hanging out with literal trash.
Okay.
You think he'll... If he brushes his teeth, he'll have another one?
I hope so. I hope so.
Think if he brushes his teeth, he'll have another thought?
Maybe. Is he still together with that financial domination couple green porn girl?
The fuck is that?
You know, this has been a good day.
I've never seen that thing before.
Is everyone dead?
Ism's still alive, huh? Don't laugh at me. I've never seen that thing before. I thought I was gonna make it inside after like one pack.
Hello?
Why the fuck did he yell hello? Who does he think is gonna be in here? Gerald's not leaving the ship. I guess he's being a ship bitch today.
Did it leave? Is it gone?
What is he even doing?
Wish we could afford a teleport door.
It's day one, Gerald. Present. Man, don't you know you're not supposed to open the presents until you get onto the ship? They might be something two-handed and it's easier to carry. Man, he's got so much stuff for the kitchen. Gerald still has things on his head. Oh my god, they followed him inside. He's flying!
Right, I'm pretty sure Leon fucking exploded.
Yeah, I was wondering.
I didn't explode!
Hey, watch out for the fan on the ceiling, man. This shit'll just straight kill you.
Really?
Oh yeah, that one shots you.
I always thought that it was on the other side of the fence. Interesting.
Yeah, Gerald, there's 3 on your head.
What?
Wait. Oh, it's just 2. It's just 2.
Oh, they let him go.
There they go. Yeah.
Well, now
Anyways,
it's inside. Yeah.
Gerald, you want to gamble?
Uh-huh.
Is this
It was 18.
See?
18 to 100. That went from $18 to $100.
Oh,
Fuck is that thing?
Just yell at it. Hey, get
No,
out
not
of
that, not that.
here!
that, Gerald. The thing
Yelling.
behind it.
Yelling doesn't work. Group up. Group up.
It's,
That's what got me. Hey, Tism.
That's too bad.
Oh man, look at that. My leg is over there.
Yeah, so my body
Violence
has enough stuff on it for us to hit goal.
I'm just gonna collect
So that
I have
bird
quota on
that
my
looks like a
body.
giant woodpecker, that's what got me. I've never seen that creature before. I was just running for the door past it. I thought maybe it would like peck me once or twice, not to death.
slime.
My body has quota on it, like entirely.
Toad slime.
Toilet paper we got from the gift box was worth $100.
Also, you know the green things that killed you? The baboon hawks or whatever? It's not noise that drives them away, it's numbers. So you gotta group up to scare them.
I can't hear you, Leon. Gerald's talking over this.
Fucking late, honestly. I'm gonna find one thing, one objet, and get the hell out of here. I'll just get the hell out of here. I don't know that those baboon hawks, is that what they're called?
Where'd the toilet paper go? The baboon hawk stole the toilet paper.
Yeah,
No, he picked up everything else
Look on
off
the
your
bridge.
body.
Look on the bridge. So has my body.
Oh.
He's also a
being,
giant.
He's being chased by that bird. And there's a giant out. I don't know if we're gonna make it, man. He's gonna get... Oh, God. He's lucky it's looking the other way. What is he doing? What is he doing?
I wish the game wouldn't make me scared. 'Cause in real life, I'm not really scared. It breaks my immersion. into fake
Leon,
fear.
you want to Leon, you want to see something funny?
What?
Yeah, you know what? Go for the fucking old bird. Go for the fucking old bird. You can't get me. What do you mean? Why would you do that, guys?
Gerald, you should have grabbed my body instead of going back inside. I had the entire quota on me.
I found all the entire quota when you dropped on the
Missed the
No,
toilet paper.
the toilet paper.
Missed the toilet paper?
Oh, whatever.
Toilet paper was $100.
Okay.
So, those baboon hawks, they're not scared away by sound. Like, yelling at them doesn't do anything. You gotta group up and scare them with numbers.
I was sure that
Gerald was. I was trying to run.
I know, that the old strat was to yell at them, but it never worked.
they patch it. Or...
No, I think that we just had
just
the
not a
wrong idea
mechanic.
the whole time.
Let me.
Wait, what's going on?
That was day one. That was day one. No big.
Oh, we can't afford to go to the planet. Damn it.
No,
We can't afford to go anywhere.
we have zero money. We can't. We
Yeah,
can only
it
go to
cost
free planet.
$1,500 to go to art.
Yeah. I'll be fine as long as that fucking woodpecker isn't here again. I missed my crosshair mod. There's nothing else in here? There's usually stuff around it. Well, this is awkward. I tried to look at the map. Like this is fucking repo. Here. We've got an apparatus. Wait, where did the fucking... Here it is.
Once again, I think she's missing her,
Hi.
her paw.
We've got an apparatus in this building. I already go this way? I feel like I've already been here. Door! Door! Fire escape! Found the fire escape! It's really windy out again today. Rattling the screen on my window. Very awkward. It's not a sound I'm accustomed to. And it's kind of creepy. I'm gonna take this outside. So I can actually say I contributed for once. Oh, what's dropped? And I don't think, no, I didn't go downstairs here, so let's see. I am not jumping. There'll be $1 million on the other side. I am not jumping. Oh, it seems like absolutely everything is on this side. Well, is this two-handed? This two-handed. Right. Okay. Damn, that's heavy. Ah. Oh, duh. Sir, your ass is in my way. the bridge already gone? Who collapsed the bridge already? I swear. It's 1 o'clock? Where the fuck are you, Chili? Oh, you're in Australia, aren't you? No, you can't be in Australia. It should only, like... Australia should only be... I'm trying to think, what time is it for Jinx? It's 9 a.m. for Jinx when we start playing at 6. Well, I guess if they're on opposite ends of the country. It's 5 o'clock. I'm just gonna stay here. Tism is dead. Gerald is still moving. Wait, did they change the items to be yellow? Did they put keys down? Wow. Wait. Does it actually show, like, where he came from? Or is that, like, how to get out? That's so crazy. And this is unmodded, so no, that's a dead end. Are those must be loot bugs, because he's not... Something got him. Alright, we're leaving. I wonder if it was a thumper. Hey guys.
And
Yeah, I thought it might be a thumper. Oh, the bridge killed you?
Rickety bridge, one person at a time, move slowly.
Yeah.
Do not collapse the bridge, it's just one person at a time, move slowly. Yeah, I haven't broken a bridge.
I wasn't there when the bridge collapsed. But you know, every time you cross the bridge, it gets worse. So even if there's only one person on it, if you're like the third person to cross it, it still might
Yes, but
collapse.
it broke immediately.
Well, I can't help you with that.
I'm also not the one who broke the bridge.
I didn't see the bridge collapse. Not my fault.
Well, it looks like we're going to Adamance again. Yay, Adamance! Adamance? Guys? Adamance? Let's go.
Are you okay, Tism? Tism? Are you okay?
Yeah, why?
You just seem upset.
Just chilling.
Did I go too far? I think I went too far. Oh, Jesus. How many of you are there? It... What? What happened? Ooh, D&D map. Oh, we got a mansion.
Oh, don't bring him in. Don't bring him in.
Oh, for
Bring your
fuck's
power
sake.
here.
Fine. Boy, which campaign are you doing? If you can hear me. Oh, I thought they were gonna take you away. Is it gone? Are we both clean?
Yep.
Alright, let's go. Why am I so damaged?
You didn't fall for my turret. But
No, I didn't. You know why I didn't fall for the turret? Because I've already been in here. Also, you didn't sound very turret-like.
About beef?
There's nothing down here. What the fuck was that?
Less accessible by my kitty cat. Kitty cat, my kitty cat. What was that?
Let Minerva go wherever Minerva wants to go.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I have found literally nothing.
Yeah.
Ooh, stop sign. Uh-oh. So those things are attracted to noise. Yes, they are. You can confuse them by bringing in the
They
boombox.
just go in a straight line.
You can confuse them
Go in a
by
straight line.
bringing in a
No, Leon,
boombox.
Leon, they're not confused by the boombox. Boombox calms it. It's not attracted to noise. It goes off of heat.
Well, it looks like I'm gonna die here. That's a nice little room. It's new. I can't open drawers. Ooh, a closet. What the fuck is that noise? Oh great, I'm being haunted. Time to go back to the ship, I guess. I don't know if we're having fun. I kind of feel like two of us are not having very much fun. Oh, great. He looks pretty dead to me. You sure you want to do that? He's surrounded by enemies.
He's got a lot of stuff. Useful stuff.
Yeah, it looks like he's got two things around him, but he's also got 4 enemies.
Well,
I think it's a flock of baboon hawks. Oh, shit. I forgot I was being haunted.
oh, maybe just barely.
I forgot the reason I came to the ship was I was being haunted. So,
Look at the little girl, and she went and kersplatted you.
yeah. So, question, guys.
Well,
Where the fuck? Shut up. I don't know that we're having fun. Do we want to change games?
I don't know. I'm having fun.
Yeah, I think you might be the only one having fun, actually.
We can change games if the rest of y'all.
You want to change games? Okay. What do we want to play?
Repo is, I suppose, a more refined version of this.
Yeah. Do you want to switch to Repo?
We can switch to Repo.
Alright, let's go. Chat, just give me a minute to switch games here. Let us get in. Okay, wait. No, this one? Oh, I've already got it up. What am I doing? I'll change to Repo. Done. Does anybody want to join us for Repo? Can I have what? 6 players in here? Just pick the next region. Wow, level 8? No, I think we should do a new game. Going straight into level 8 is not for us. Wait.
I forgot to mute Gerald's stream, and he is let's going with himself in perfect synchronicity.
Absolutely psychotic that you got here before me, Hoyt. I'm gonna go do some shit quick, but you can start without me.
Okie doke.
Chat.
Hit the
Chat,
button
if you
and
can
let's
hear me,
kill him.
I'm gonna astral project again. What I always do.
Let's throw Gerald in a pit.
Yeah, where he belongs. Yeah, let's see. Turn you down a little, turn you down a lot. Alright, let's go. What do you have in Artemis? See something, what is it? Huh? Oh, it's the gamer girl piss on the floor.
Oh, watch it.
Wait, why is it so short? Hi, Burr. I asked what you're having for dinner, Artemis. Oh, Jesus Christ. Thank God for Burr. I changed the game everywhere but in OBS. Sorry about that. I'm an idiot. There, you know, I really don't like fish. I only eat tuna in like tuna casserole. Tuna helper, which is basically a box casserole. Oh my god. And then there is, where the fuck did the cart go? There was a food truck that came to town, and it doesn't come around very often. It like drives around the like central north Midwest ish, and I think they're from, I would love to try your tuna casserole, Artemis, if you're ever in the Midwest. Is that a stapler? I believe you have my stapler.
Good one. That's the reference to Office Space.
The
Leon, I found it. I found another one. Do the stapler line again.
I believe you have my stapler.
Like loves Office Space.
I wish I could beat up my printer the way they did. Anyway, there's a food truck that comes around. Gerald knows about this food truck, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
With the
I
fish.
ate it once.
That's the best fish fish and chips I've ever had in my life.
It's pretty good fish and chips.
Yeah.
Are you... You've had beer battered fish and chips before, right?
Yeah, of course.
Because if they do that good, then it can turn out real good.
I have not found
a lot
another
of
place that
places-
serves fish that I like. Oh.
A lot of places do some dog shit beer battered fish and chips.
I'm not a huge fan of fish in the first place, so the fact that I liked the fish and chips from the food truck is amazing.
Mm-hmm. You should make a hovering event. That'd be cool. Thanks, babies are streaming. I think they're gonna interfere with them. Oh, boy.
I think he's in the next room. Wait.
Is the head gone?
Yeah, for the most part.
We could hear you like 2 rooms away because of your kids.
Yeah, they've been on
There's a
one
chick,
today.
by the way.
So we got one more room over here. Oh, I found the head. I'm gonna get in here with the VHS tape. That kind of scared me. Somebody's cell phone is going off.
The headphone is not fucking breathing.
God damn, he was like clacking his teeth.
Did that come through?
Yeah, it did. Alright, he's in the other room. We might be able to make a break for it, but we forgot 2 things in the other room.
What are you? Oh,
Should be
that's in the
something
next
like
room as
right
well.
here.
My children's mirth and joy is trying to get me killed in this game.
Oh yeah, Leon. I needed to ask Neko via your speaker, since they're in your chat. What's the least approachable form of fish? Like, what's the highest skill level fish for only like cool guys?
Now, are we talking fish
Cool
or
professional
seafood
fish
in general?
enjoyers. Yes. Yes. Eel's good, man. Eel's like, I don't even know how people can not like eel.
Probably because it's got so many bones in it.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, because if you, most of the time when you get eel, you have to like spit out all the bones.
I've gotten roasted karaage. I think that's the word.
I think it used to be really popular in Britain. And when
Mentaiko, isn't that you prepare it right, you take all the bones out? Yeah, unagi. What's karaage? That's seaweed, isn't it?
fermented fish, ew.
The fermented, what about the fermented
Oh
shark?
god, that shark in a can. that fish in a can, yeah. Sturstrom, yeah, Sturstrom.
Surströmming. Surströmming.
You know you're legally not allowed to open that inside of a building.
I believe it. Not allowed to bring durian on buses because of sissy ass liberals.
I really want to know what durian tastes like.
It's really not that good. I got friends who like swear that it's the best thing and like it's just an acquired taste, but it's like it's basically just kind of sulfurous and nasty.
Really? A fruit
Those
that's
friends are lying.
sulfurous?
Mm-hmm. Tism's lying. Tism's pretending he doesn't taste the sulfur. It's okay.
I've heard durian is really
It's okay,
expensive
man.
too. Isn't
You
it
can
like
pretend.
$10 for one?
Probably. What else was I gonna say? Neko's a durian enjoyer. Mentaiko is spicy salted pollock egg sacks. I thought
Ew.
Mentaiko. What's the fish sperm? What's that one?
That's roe. Oh no, that's,
Well, that's
roe is
not
eggs. You said sperm.
Yeah.
I don't know what that. Why is it all stamina upgrades? Banana vanilla marshmallow?
What is Mentaiko is?
No, durian, I think. Like we're saying
Oh.
durian is like vanilla marshmallow banana.
Oh, I don't know.
Well,
I haven't
listen,
had
I like
pure durian
banana,
in a
vanilla, and
while.
marshmallow. I don't know if I want a fruit that tastes like all that, but then again, there's do we want sprint speed?
I don't need it.
Why don't we get a sprint speed?
One cluster grenade.
I'll take this
One lame Pumon grenade.
How do you eat it so strong? I guess if it's been made into a smoothie? But
Speaking of fish items, I had shrimp
Like
creole for
Dole
din
Whip?
dins.
you know what? One of the worst ways that I can think of to eat is, the shrimp cocktail. Serving it on the rim of a glass, just it does horrible things to my brain.
You shut
Really?
your mouth. That's delicious.
Yeah, shrimp cocktails, Gumby.
I hate shrimp.
You're lost.
You're
More
just,
for me.
You're just not
Belly full of
event
shrimp.
maxing.
The only thing I'll eat is like crab.
Jiggles my
Although
jiggles my suspiciously shrimp-shaped belly at you.
I have never had like a lobster, but I have had is my mouth moving or is it broken again?
Yeah. No, it's
No, you're
working.
good.
Okay. On my new model, I can't really tell.
Oh, on your model. I don't know.
Oh.
In game, you're
Well, in game, obviously, you can hear me. I'm just wondering about my model. Because it doesn't look like my mouth is moving. I'm blinking.
Host. Be the strong boy.
Oh, fine.
Oh, good VTuber joke. You both look like you could be models.
Hey, thanks, Hoyt.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
I'm gonna restart
Who's
my
gonna take
model.
his stamina? And who's
I'll
gonna
take
take
the-
this printed
I'll take
speed?
the speedy. I've already had my stamina stereo though.
Who wants? Does anyone else? I took a sprint speed, but I can also take a stamina. I don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
Here.
Go ahead.
Ah, yeah, see, there, now I can tell my mouth is moving.
Good.
Where's Tism? Did he leave?
No, he's in the back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I agree with the presentation. Pointless, but. But I don't care about presentation. You can serve it on the side of a toilet for long as I watch you sanitize it
So
first.
I got a question about lobster, and I never had this question before until I started seeing TikToks of people talking about it. When you eat lobster, you cook it whole, right? So when you go to eat lobster tail, is the shit still in there? Because like in shrimp, you devein it so you get it out, right? But for
Yeah,
lobsters,
like-
it's still there?
So with lobsters and crawfish, you leave it in water for a while and don't feed it so that it, kind
Oh.
of gets rid of that naturally.
So you starve them before
It's
you
in the
boil them to
boil
death.
water.
This sounds very
Oh.
humane.
And delicious.
I also cannot imagine like sucking their bodies out of their shells through their heads. That sounds disgusting.
I don't think. Is that something they do?
Isn't that how you eat
To
crawfish?
lobsters? Oh, to crawfish. Is that something you do with crawfish? Wait, is that right? Yeah, you crack them and flip them out. I don't know how to eat crawfish.
So Artemis
I
is
just-
saying
I
that
just
you
tear
want
open
the
the tail
freshest
and-
lobster possible, and that leaving them in water like that makes them nasty.
I'm learning a lot. I'm glad I have very knowledgeable friends. Monster yummy.
I like crab ragoon, and crab cakes. And I did eat like crab fresh out of the leg once because I went to Red Lobster with an old roommate, and it did not taste like anything. It was
Oh, this
just,
is actually your job. Hold on.
no, the radioactive stuff is for the radioactive pork.
But it's a big, heavy item for the strong boy. Thanks, Light. Thanks, Light.
Until I put this away.
I was an inch from putting it down, and then my will was taken from me, so...
There you go.
Like, tried to get me on the bimbo training.
Force fem your old.
I can't see where the fuck I'm going.
I could fem Gerald, actually. But I don't think I will. No one popped the redeem, and the redeem isn't available, and it's a lot of fucking work.
What am I stuck on? I can't see where I'm going.
You're stuck on a gigantic hostage dog. Leon, follow the sub. Turn right. Strafe right. There we go. Where am I?
I think we have to go through this door
Yep.
and to the left.
Over here. And perfect. We took off just enough value that it didn't throw it off. Perfect gaming, Leon.
Oh, really? So what did you do to get the shit out of them, Artemis? I can't imagine that we just ate shit.
Oh boy.
Got a Redditor, obviously.
We got a Redditor.
What do you mean you just don't eat that part? We eat the claws and the tail. Right. I mean, do they not shit?
The tail is mostly muscle.
I blowed him up.
Good job. Good job.
I know. I'm great.
Let's
So
turn
it doesn't go through the tail at all. Hey, I found something. It comes out before it goes into the tail then, I guess.
I slurp on the brains. Of
That's
crawfish?
not crawfish, lobster.
I slurp on the brains. I don't.
Ow.
Sorry. I didn't mean to hit you with that.
Yowza.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. Don't lie.
I was rushing. I didn't realize you were there until the last second. You missed. Try again.
I did. No, that was my one attempt at revenge. Don't eat the goop and you're all good.
I mean, I think that is appropriate for life in general.
Goop on the fringe.
There is something else small there and something big over here. Ooh, diamond burger. Chisholm bought me breakfast this morning.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
He gave me a gift card to Burger King.
Burger King?
Yeah, he won it in poker.
Burger's just gonna have to go straight to the platform. Can you do it, strong boy?
I don't know where the platform is.
No,
Oh, is it just straight ahead all the
No,
way?
we got it.
All right.
We awakened it. No, we could have had Leon hop into the. Oh, it's fine. He could have been our mobile turret. Our mobile. I just realized that's why Anton did that. In
No,
H3.
wait.
No, go ahead. Put it on. I got you.
Yeah, I ended up spending $20 to use the $15 gift card because of delivery and taxes and tip, and I ordered a little extra food for later.
I haven't had Burger King in
Forever.
at least 10 years.
I haven't had Burger King in a long ass time.
Let's be honest with me, Leon. Should I keep it that way?
Yeah.
Okay.
We lived.
I had my first Whopper today and it was nothing to write home about.
Nope.
Where's Tism?
The Whopper is
Distance.
sustenance.
I mean,
We used to have
you know the Whopper
a
sauce
Burger
that they,
King-
you know the special sauce that they always talk about that goes on the Whopper? That was pretty good, but it's just like mayo and ketchup and something, right?
Yeah.
Which is what I do anyway.
Wait. Yeah. I didn't know they even said that the Whopper had special sauce. I thought they just said that it had officially mayo and ketchup.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of Big Mac having those special sauce.
Yeah, that's Thousand Island.
I think I've had one Big
Strong
Mac in my
boy
life
and gun.
too. And that was also because it was like a promotional thing and I got it free.
Now we gotta put that
I
back.
don't like relish, but I get mayo and ketchup on everything. I never used to
Where'd the
put
grenade
mayo
go?
on my burgers until I went to college, community college here, and I met a friend of mine who took me to a little mom and pop burger joint, and they put mayo on their burgers, and I'm like, mayo on a burger? And now that's just the way I am. I didn't realize you guys needed a baby to go up here.
I've been looking for someone to hijack and throw up there.
We used to have a Burger King in our neighborhood, well, within driving distance anyway. That I forget what the deal was, but it was like 99-cent Whoppers at a certain hour on a Tuesday.
We used to always go and get them. It was like our one special fast food thing. We were a non-fast food family still. It made fast food seem like especially special to us, even though it's, garbage.
I would say that Burger King, their spicy chicken sandwich, actually spicy, actually has some heat on it. Which is
I was
surprising.
raised on McDonald's. McDonald's and Dairy Queen, actually. Our Dairy Queen was a sit down and it had those hard red what do you call them? Oh my god, why can I booths. Hard red booths that were just, curved.
Yes, the hard red boobs.
Ooh.
I know about curved hard red
I
boobs.
heard that too, Gerald. I heard
Ooh.
that. I was waiting for you to say something.
Yeah. I'm the hard red boobs guy.
I mean, if you
I
want to
feel like
break
we're
your
about the
teeth,
same.
go ahead.
This guy's talking about using teeth.
Don't you bite?
Well, maybe I'll try it.
What?
What do you mean, no? I guess I've had sex with kinky women because everyone I've ever had sex with wanted me to
Now
bite.
you're just rubbing it in, huh, Leon? You're just rubbing it in.
Fighting and rubbing in. Come on.
You know, I really look forward to a proper Dairy Queen Blizzard, but I never fucking get them because every time I order them, they cancel my order. They have absolutely zero patience for a driver to pick up the order.
I'm a hot fudge sundae and
jelly bar type of boy.
You know, until I had problems with my teeth,
I don't have a DQ order.
I particularly liked the Buster, the
Peanut Buster Parfait.
yeah, the Peanut Buster Parfait. There you go.
The Bunker Buster. I don't think I've ever had the Peanut Buster Parfait.
It's delicious. It's like an enormous hot fudge sundae with peanuts.
Nice.
Yeah.
Where's all the loot, man?
I don't know. I was playing this earlier with Aggie, and she had a ton of mods set to it, and we had a bunch of new maps and stuff, but
Neko
we could hardly find
just
anything.
outed herself as like a white girl.
Yeah. I can't. Okay. What are you guys doing? Yeah, I don't eat sushi. I can't believe you didn't say.
Oh, my head.
Can't believe you didn't say strong boy. This is for you.
Yeah, I should have. That would have been funny. Yep.
Are we setting it
I'll
down
just
like
leave it
this?
to you. We shouldn't. We should really try and prop it up. But
I don't know. I think leaving it on its side, I mean, it fits.
Does it? It's
Yeah.
leaking out. Oh.
No,
okay.
it fits.
Good. Oh my gosh. Holy shit. Neko really is a white girl.
Yeah.
Someone in my chat's bad, Neko. Oh,
I have tried sushi, and I thought that I went for, you know, a non-fish sushi to be my first one. And then I realized later that I had gotten one that was completely rolled in roe.
That's yummy. They pop in your mouth. Pop, 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 pop. Yummy. They don't even have a taste. They just have a texture.
I like fish eggs.
And like, what are you getting that's non-fish? The egg one?
It
the
was
spam one.
There
Come
was
on.
definitely neither of those things in there because I'm not a spam eater, and I don't think there were egg ones. I don't know. It was a poor choice that I made at a buffet like 15 years ago. You okay down there, little buddy?
Sushi? Dude.
You want us to put you in the cart?
Isn't you a gun? Oh.
Where'd the cart go?
This way, I think.
Ooh, the ping.
I've got something for the cart. Hold still.
Okay. Losing 2,000 money to ping, very painful.
I feel that.
Oh, wait, you want to be babe or Leon? You want to be baby? I'll
Sure.
put you up. reach. Yep. No.
Maybe you can throw me.
Yep. Leon asked him to be tossed. No, that didn't work. That didn't work at all. Yep. No.
Nope.
Maybe you should be the one throwing because you're still. But it doesn't matter. There's another end up there.
You okay? What did you say? I heard you say something about microphone.
More games need microphone sensitivity sliders. They have to be right next to my mic for it to pick up my voice.
I'm sorry. Somebody's getting shot.
Yeah, I tried telling you guys about the ninja grenade, but it wasn't picking up on my mic.
There's the okay.
I got the ninja granny.
Yeah, there's two things in this room. I'm assuming this is one of them.
You're slaying.
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
Bangers. We have some bangers.
I see. There's already a sword in here. I'm gonna line you up so we can just push you in. Is there anything else in here? I wonder why I've been getting
That it?
input lag lately. Right, run. Come with me.
Two object back there, but
Oh,
you
no.
Hit me into the grandma.
Wow, I ran past the grandma and got 0 damage. That hurt.
it didn't break. Did it break?
Gerald saved me.
Yay.
Shit on the mother toilet.
What did I hear about Mother's toilet?
You don't know. Gerald's
Is that where your mom laid her eggs in the toilet instead of a pond because there wasn't enough water?
Don't you talk about his mother, and yes.
And yes.
10 grand for an energy crystal already? Should at least buy one. If someone likes shooting bullet,
Mm-hmm.
maybe we buy 2.
Battery? No, I want a crouch rest if we can get it at some point.
How much are they right now?
None.
None.
Oh, there aren't any. Okay.
Impossible to purchase.
Do we need any health?
Beyond our means. I'm good.
Some things aren't for sale. That's not me. That's not me, Hoyt. You dilly.
I know that I metaphorically give you help, but we're looking for literal help. Well, no, we're looking for literal meat. This is not much.
Okay.
No, we don't need those. Oh well. I didn't need the ducket that bad.
Well, you can't buy the duck meat. That's too much.
It was a cheap one today. It was 5.
5 is cheap.
And
Yeah.
it is cheap, but we have 2.
What's happening to my stream right now?
Very good question.
Oh, it's normal. It looked abnormal, but it's normal.
Who's taking the health?
I'll take some.
I'm the player count boy.
Oh boy, I sure do hope my microphone actually picks up now.
Oh, it is though.
Yeah, super loud. I mean, I gotta crank that down a touch. Uh-oh. Okay,
I don't know.
okay.
For me, it was perfect.
I think I might have previewed. No? Oh.
Oh, but
I
I've
love
turned.
having to use a separate app just to have audio.
I had you turned down to 70% anyway because you're always a little loud. That's probably why it was appropriate noise level for me and not for Gerald.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no,
I get to
microphone
do that.
sensitivity was so low by default on this microphone, and there's no way to change it, that I had to load up voice mod and do it on there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I don't know why this microphone that's set up for, like, actual microphone usage has ASMR sensitivity to it. Where you gotta be, like, touching the mic just for it to pick up.
Isn't this a new mic too?
Yeah, it is.
That sucks.
Well, not new as in, like, brand new. I've had it for a while. It's just I haven't been using it because the headset's more comfortable.
Hmm. I thought there would be more up here.
These are shit arrows.
They're
not
so
like design.
These are so
Yeah.
thin. I don't know how they penetrated anything
Well, there's
without
also the fact
breaking.
that they're extremely. I'm not saying they're shit as in like, oh, these look horrible. I'm saying they're shit as in like they're impractical. Look at how thick the arrowhead on this is. They have such a large arc to it.
The arrowheads are squares instead of.
Also, what doesn't make sense to me is tying the arms on the robot that can, like, you know, disconnect its arms.
Well, also look at how small our hands are. You could just pull them out.
Yeah, like that's. Well, no, because you'd have to pull it in a straight line, and with the angle they're tied, there is no straight line to pull. You see this spear, on the other hand, that's more practical.
I don't think that they made this level with your level of dissection
Most
in
of
mind.
this level was community made.
And
They didn't even make most of this level, is what I'm saying.
I'm just
Like, half the
saying
room,
this level
half the
wasn't
rooms are community made, and then they were just like, yeah, we'll put that in.
exactly. This level wasn't made with the autistic in mind.
That's wild considering how many play this game.
I was about to say, where are you going with that cart? You haven't even gone into this room yet.
I was hoping you would give me a hand.
Ha ha ha. Have you been upstairs yet?
Yeah, I got all that.
Okay.
There's nothing. Nothing, man. Just a bunch of junk.
I suppose it's about time to turn in the first part.
Is it the gunman or the
That answer your question? What's your head? There's a goblin out there too. Oh, isn't found the goblin.
There you go.
Wow, there's a bunch of stuff in this room.
And I previously killed the tick with a bot.
Is this
A body
we're
bot.
out of room here.
But not a shoe body bot.
Oh, this isn't the way to the extraction.
Chisholm, you wanna? Thank you. Yeah, we should.
Yeah,
probably
we
get
should bring it
ourselves
back.
extra.
Got a ton.
That's enough.
Oh!
Yeah, happens.
These wires remind me of a game that I watched Sova Nova play last night. So cute. It was called The Spirit and the Mouse. You play as a little mouse in a small town, small village really in France. And the mouse has to help people out with all their problems. A lot of it has to do with electricity because the spirit is a lightning spirit. And the mouse gets shocked and accidentally takes a bunch of power from the lightning spirit, and therefore they have to go around and talk all of these little smaller electricity spirits into getting back in their box to fix, you know, like TVs and
my emotions are, I suppose, Susical adjacent at least.
Anyway, it's a really cute game.
It's so hot. Makes me think, oh my lord. Sorry, I know. I hope that doesn't get content ID'd for you guys.
Well, it has to be recognizable for that to happen.
Now they'll manually do it.
Wow, there's so much stuff.
That's the bitch. Oh wait, is it the sound of the floor? Is the floor fat and wet and slapular?
What?
Once the floor is fat and wet and slapular.
So, I don't think we can get Big Horse up onto this extract, but maybe we can get it onto the other extract.
There's a horse.
Does anybody?
There is the other extract.
Around you to the left.
can
Well,
rule around.
I like our chances better on that, assuming it's flat.
Oh, we gotta go up the fucking stairs for this one.
Yeah, and I don't think we have enough strength combined.
I have
to get
4
the horse
strength.
up. Yeah, the horse is heavy. Just turn in.
Yeah, before I pushed in, I was like, is there something here that I need to get ready to push in? I wasn't sure if they were inside the barrier already. Damn, I missed it. Is the Hans all that's left?
I think it's the only thing I'm seeing. Here, I'll take the cart.
Where's the... Oh, I thought he said it was to the left. I thought it was literally in this room.
It's not close, but it is flat all the way there.
Oh, flat-ish.
Are we caught on something?
I don't know. Leon, here, let's trade places. At least, you should grab, like, the nape of the neck. It's working and working. Whoa.
I don't know where I'm going. All I can see is Hans.
That's okay. Just listen to the sound of my voice and try not to run the other way.
You have a very soothing voice, to be honest.
People keep telling me that.
I bet if you made a help you fall asleep by reading boring things podcast, that it would take off in no time.
You know, I've been toying with the idea of some kind of like sleepy time content.
Mm-hmm. I used to listen. I used to listen to a guy read random Wikipedia articles in a monotonous voice.
We can lose the car. Uh-oh.
I think he'll make it.
No, what about the schnoz?
I think he'll make it.
I guess we gotta just pray, huh?
Yeah, he made it.
Oh, 92.
Nice fucking muns.
Now
Nice
we all die on
muns.
the way back.
Probably.
Do you see what Artemis said? Wait. She said, you actually sound a lot like someone that is or was on a really weird radio show here for a long time.
That sounds exactly like my alley, dude. The problem with me doing like boring sleepy time content is I'm too much of a wackadoo.
Shit! Goddamn tick! Oh my god. Hoyt, I don't know how you survived that. You got shot in the back.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do we wait for Gerald?
Yeah, I think he's almost here. The boy, he survived. He survived.
I did it.
I wasn't sure you were gonna make it.
I wasn't either. They were both being mean. They were being mean. Ooh, here we go.
Was that a photon blaster?
Laser. Double gun.
They've got lasers and
The
blazers
baseball
and
bat.
lasers.
Know what I really wish? I wish that the
How did I
laser
miss
could be
you?
loaded with. I wish that the laser could be loaded with glazers, glazer safety slug.
Oh, if you hit something, it flies. It's like a one-shotter.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
That's quaid.
Puzzling evidence from the Church of Subgenius. There you go, Hoyt.
I was always more of a church of. Oh no, that is the Church of Subgenius. Yeah. Isn't that the same guy who voices Dr. Kleiner in Half-Life?
We're gonna need more crystals.
Going to the Wiccan party. Not nearly enough crystals.
Am I not seeing everybody's chat? I feel like I'm not seeing Gerald's chat.
Uh-oh. Well, it's still enabled, so I don't know. Sounds like a you problem.
I will sing something in Gerald's chat.
I think I'm just not getting any chat.
Okay, yeah, I am. It seems like you guys are talking and like I don't understand where it came from, so I thought you were responding to something in chat, and I'm like,
I'm just talking to myself.
Leon, you're
What?
just not good with it.
There we go.
Like we are.
Artemis says
We
that
are.
apparently that that radio show is still ongoing and has been on air for 44 years.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Like
That's 2
radio's,
years
like,
less
dead
than
now.
I've been on air.
They outlived the format that they're on.
Who's your favorite telegraph star, Hoyt?
Radio killed the telegraph star.
So, you guys know, did you guys hear about MTV stopping all music video playing? And the very last music video they played was the very first music video they played?
That's cute. It should have been Rick Astley, though.
When was that? I feel like, I don't know, I feel like that either happened this year or like 10 years ago.
It was,
No, it was this
last
year. It was not that long
I'm putting
ago.
this in the baby hole. The on bust baby hole. Now I'm taking the space laser giga blazer lady. Now I'm taking a cluster grenade. Now I'm taking a human grenade.
I'll be a
Hoyt
gunman.
the gun boy. Hoyt's the gun boy. I'm gonna take the other human grenade.
Yeah. jealous.
Yeah, I'm actually following the voice actor for Dr. Kleiner's Twitch channel. I forget what it's called though. I'm not gatekeeping, I just forget what it's called. But he used to, I don't know, yeah, no, he
like used to and still does do Church of the Subgenius stuff.
What the fuck is
You
Church of
familiar
the
with-
Subgenius?
It's Festivus for the rest of us. It's a religion for every man, woman and child and the rest. I think most
Every man, woman, child, and the rest. The others. The uncategorizable, I guess. Elevator go down the hole. This bedroom is small. Maybe Shanoa's bedroom is small as it is. Right in the middle. Oh, hello, finger. Can I just pick you up, finger? Oh, you're dragging along. Oh, well, somebody's hungry. She's gotten on top of the fridge to tell me about it. Yeah, I see you up there. Daddy's kind of in the middle of something right now.
One shot.
Hey, Hoyt, help me with this finger. Hoyt!
Is my belief properly placed? I believe it was.
You guys help me with this? I keep crashing into things.
Oh man. Okay, watch out, Gerald. Fingy coming
It's the
through.
Fingus. And Fingus singular. I'll take.
Here, can we all lift Dube into cart and then Gerald pushes cart?
That we can do.
There we go. There we go.
That's thinking right there.
The finger helper.
I don't know why, guys, but I just had a sudden craving for Lucky Charm. Oh, Sharon.
Is it because of the runes, the eldritch runes that are upon the cube?
You know, it
probably is. That's it.
Lucky Charm's the most runic of the cereals. Shove, shove, shove.
Yay! I better recharge.
Perfect. Oh, they've already been out here. Good to know, good to know. They have not been over here, though. So, is the next extract nearby? I hear it. Is it upstairs? It is upstairs. Where's that? Here it is. Cascade of echoing glossolalia madness and ruminations from the free-falling brains of disintegrating personality. That is a really long way of saying
Quantum Gerald.
pretentious asshole.
Huh?
Said that's a very long way of saying pretentious asshole. What Artemis said that the show is described as.
Oh.
Have you been upstairs?
Yeah.
I think it's pretty funny. I think it sounds pretty funny.
I don't know if it.
Wait, why are the doors open when nobody's been here? Oh, there's a staircase back here. Wait, where did the cart go? Oh.
Oh, you missed it.
Yeah, we got one more though. I'll just wait here for you to bring me the cart. Oh no! Kill it! Gerald! Gerald, kill it! Good job.
I think there's something else. I think it was just ambiance.
Might have been.
Not to be confused with Beyonce.
Didn't Beyonce get into a little bit of trouble recently? I don't remember why though.
Bro, I have no clue about celebrity.
Me either, which is why it was weird it made it into my sphere. Oh god, this goes up even further. Alright, here we go.
My mom was asking about CeeLo Green. Asking if CeeLo Green got canceled.
CeeLo Green?
I don't know, man.
I haven't heard
don't
about
even
CeeLo
remember.
Green in so fucking long. I don't think there's anything over there.
And getting canceled might be the best thing for his career. Maybe it was a strategic cancellation. Wait,
Could've been.
Leon, wait.
What?
If I can baby hurl you over there, you think you could check that?
Oh, sure, yeah.
If I baby hurl you over there, then actually I might need to also be baby hurled or baby grabbed while you're over there. So go baby. Or jump, whatever. You're gonna bump your head.
I missed.
Hold ya. The ceiling's too low. The ceiling's too low. That's why it's a multi-stage ephemeral operation.
Dinosaurs attack trading cards? Never heard of it.
Yep. Oh, there we go.
I don't see anything in there.
Oh, good. Then that answers that.
Where are the other two?
Hoyt left, and Tism is doing his persistent, like, not really playing thing that he's been doing all night.
Yeah.
Precursor chemical. I'm the chemical boy. Liquid crystal.
What are we talking about? The CeeLo Green thing, or we still talking about the Church of something or other? Non-genius or something?
Subgenius.
Subgenius. Artemis just said it was such a weird, pointless thing. I can't imagine any good reason to have heard of it. And I'm like, what are we talking about?
Artemis. I'm summoning Artemis. Artemis, have you heard of the toy line called the Attack Pack? They were like monster trucks that
he was talking about the dinosaurs
of...
attack cards.
I know, but this is a separate thing. Have you heard of the Attack Pack? They were like monster trucks that you press down on them and they turn into like actual monsters.
So like Transformers.
Sorta, but better.
That's blasphemy.
They were better
sir.
because I had childhood nostalgia for them. Because I didn't get any Transformers toys growing up, so...
My dad was as much of a Transformers fan as I was.
Well, lucky you.
I don't remember getting any Transformer toys, though. I only remember watching the TV show.
Oh. Kinda cringe. I'm not gonna kinda lie.
The way we got our TV shows was kinda sick, though.
Because, was it a descrambler?
Well, here's the thing. We had one of the first, like, consumer available satellite dishes. And it was as tall as our house.
Yeah.
When we changed the channel, you could hear the disc turning. It was like to realign with a different satellite. And my dad found out that if you go way up into the numbers of channels that haven't been bought yet, and you would find the color bars, instead of static. And at just the right time on just the right day, the East Coast would send an entire season's worth of their shows back to back to the West Coast by playing them over those channels, and they would just record them. So my dad was like, fuck yeah, and he would put a VHS tape in, and we would sit there and watch the entire season just in a row.
Nice.
With no commercials.
Crazy. We had, I don't know if I can legally say this, but we had a D-scrambler that we used for, like, the brief period of time that D-scramblers were a thing.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever got to enjoy it. I think it was before I was born. But, oh, there's a redditor.
We also used to, you know, copy down, or we would make copies of all the VHS tapes that we rented. And then there was
I
one
would
day
never. Legally, I would never.
we would,
Illegally, though.
every year for Christmas, my aunt would get whatever the latest Disney movie was and then make copies for everybody. And one year, none of them worked. And that's how we found out that Disney started scrambling their tapes.
Fuckers.
Oh, you're
Shitfuckers,
alive.
Fucking Disney.
Hello, Meow. How are you? Or
Oh, Meow.
are you Meow or are you Jerry?
That's Jerry. AKA Green Boyo. Oh. We don't need to kill these. We have no financial gain from killing these. I'm the only lazy boy around here, buddy. Uh-oh. Oh no.
I feel like a damsel in distress because I'm the only one without a weapon.
You want a human grenade?
No.
Oh. Oh, you bitch. Oh, shit. Wait. I shift tabbed by accident.
Whoops.
I was running and trying to look at my map at the same time. And we sent it. Fuck yeah. It has been sent. Pew pew. Laser beam.
An hour ago.
Oh god.
We have 90K to spend. Did you say you wanted a crouch rest upgrade?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got one.
How much strength do you have?
5.
We'll get you one more.
We got 12. Do we have any crystals that are less than 12?
We got 2 Teds.
Let's see. Oh, we do have 1 stamina. I think we have 2 health. Yeah, we got 2 health. 5K, that's pretty good for this level.
Ugh. You know what? A range upgrade. Why not? We got right. One of them right. Range upgrade.
We going in the baby hole?
Yes. Oh. Wait.
Okay, put me in the baby hole.
Wow, you managed to get that inside the purchaser.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, all skill, no luck.
100% intentional. Alright, did we... Oh, did you get the human grenade?
Yeah, it's inside the ducket.
Oh, good. Okay. Anything else?
We got 10K to spend. Is there something else you would like to get?
Oh, num 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 num. Mm. A second range upgrade, perhaps? Or tumble wings?
I thought you didn't like those.
They don't
I know
really help
Tism doesn't
anything.
like them because he says it messes with his attacking things. Good?
Yep.
I think it's weird how when it's just you and me, we don't make it very far, but if Tism is in the game, we make it pretty far.
Yeah.
Stop,
He's our good luck charm.
stop yawning. I'm very susceptible to other people's yawning.
He's not immune to propaganda.
I'm not.
Hit him with an advertisement. Chat, hit him with an advertisement, quick. Tell him to subscribe to Gerald Violence Clemson on twitch.tv.
That was my first health upgrade.
Range. Where's the crouch rest? Is this it? I'll take a health upgrade as well. What's
How about the range?
The second range.
You have. I don't have any range. Do you have
Only
range?
one for now. I've got one range.
Okay.
Upgrade my cluster for frag.
You know what? I will carry these even though I'm terrible at using them.
Yes, be the grenade pocket. Waging warfare on Leon by being an e-boy.
Listen, I am always tired. The fatigue is real. There was one day I was literally just sitting here watching a Crimson Ruse stream, and I woke up at 7 a.m. in my chair. Oh shit!
Why'd you do it, Leon? What's your health right now?
104. I actually did not get hurt.
Oh, not bad. I heard that thing pop and I was like, yeah, there's nothing I can do. There's no running. I'll just tank it. Why am I so fucking slow right now?
Because you're pushing the cart?
Yeah, but I was abnormally slow even for that.
Ooh. Propane and propane accessories.
Dang it, Bobby.
That's my purse. I don't know you. I don't think I've ever seen an episode of that show. And yet I know from memes. Oh, I missed something. Oh yeah. Oh shit!
Like an octave
Look
too
out!
high.
Look out! Fuck yeah!
I think I pickled some of the loot. But it was a worthy price to pay.
There we go.
No. I Kitty has to wait 15 more minutes for food.
Mine has to wait until I'm done with the game.
Oh shit. Oh fuck. An indeterminate amount of time?
Yeah.
Tarb. Look at the tarb. No, I'm conflating right now. I'm conflating Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. Look at the time with Mr. Susan from Mighty Boosh saying, "Look at them shine."
I've seen the Mighty Boosh, and yet I don't remember.
Yeah, Mr. Susan was the guy from the Mirror World. He had the mirror balls. He said, "Look at them shine." He sprayed them with his spray bottle and went, "Ah!"
No, I don't remember that. Maybe I haven't seen as much Mighty Boosh as I thought.
Have you seen the Betamax Bandit, the best villain in all of fiction?
No. I think we need to take this cart back. It's a little full.
Okay. Only Rich Fulcher could have ever portrayed the Betamax Bandit, best villain in all of fiction. Alright, let's take it back.
I'm not touching that cart.
Because you know it's gonna fall apart.
Yes.
Error. the make a fact joke. Leon must have stepped on the scale, and that's why it says error, because he broke it. Haha haha. Hashtag owned in chat. Hashtag owned. Leon, was that too far? I'm sorry.
A little bit.
No! Alright, well, I got karma. I got karma. God made me pay. Oh.
There was not a lot left over from that.
It was teensy.
Yeah, it's less than 4K.
Me over here size shaming the leftover loot bag,
the money bag. We didn't check up here.
No,
Yeah,
I don't think we did.
Here.
Is there anything up there?
There's one ID card at the very least. Oh, there's a couple of things, yeah.
Well, you can throw them over the side. I got the cart down here.
Okay, but
That's not where the cart is.
I can see. I got eyes. I'm staging and ranging. I'm learning and growing. Damn, I'm good. Bucket's bucket. Kobe. Michael Jordan Peterson. Did that one go in?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Damn, I'm good.
Every time it makes it, the cart jumps. Like you scared it.
This one, I don't think I can lift this one.
No.
I'll bring it down. It's a Miller 12-pack of Gamer Girl Piss. Maybe a 4-pack? I don't know. Oh, it is a 4-pack. Never mind. Wait, no. No, wait. It's a 16-pack. Hey, yo. Or no, it is just 4. Doesn't matter. Full of Gamer Girl Piss. That's what that symbol means. That's the Gamer Girl Piss symbol.
The tube of Gamer Girl Piss I found earlier was so small.
Yeah, that.
Have we looked over here yet?
Looking for Gamer Girl Piss. Look for any tube with that symbol on it. It might not look like Gamer Girl Piss, but it is.
Artemis?
You should chug
He's
it down.
talking about you. All right, what's big over here? Oh, good lord. We've got a cryostasis tube. Where do we take it?
Drink the... I think I hear it. I heard it. Drink the gamer girl piss to gain their power.
Oh, we got another big boy. Wow, this one isn't a rhino. This one's a whole ass human. We knew you already. Gerald, we got a whole skeleton and ice up here.
Okay. We gotta find the,
I thought you said you heard it.
I did hear it. I'm not gonna like it. On the other side, I think it's a nice. It's not too bad, but it's not good.
Well, you should probably help me with this because I've taken about half its worth off.
Hey, Leon, say the line, say the line. Say the line, Leon.
I believe you have my stapler. Did you hear the child laugh just as I said it?
The baby also enjoyed the joke. Oh, fuck you!
He got ya.
Right. Is he gone?
Yeah.
I'm taking my revenge. Next time he shows up, I'm taking my fucking revenge. That was fake. That was fake news.
Where am I going with this? Just straight ahead?
I think so, yeah. And, wait, no.
We got problems.
That's not it. No, that's not it.
There's a granny over there and the...
Get the fuck out of here, bitch. Oh my god, brother. Are you serious?
Oh.
Pay for your crimes. Where did Pearl go? Yeah, the Pearl's gone. She didn't even pay for her crimes. Literally. Financially.
I may have blown it up.
Well, whatever.
I tried to use a grenade and epically failed.
This just reinforces the fact that when you say you don't want grenades, we should trust.
Hey, Artemis! We were talking about this the whole time. $3,000 for your piss, girl. Where's the cart?
Room. There. Wait, what's that? Oh, that's the
cryo thing?
What's that, though? Hold on.
We got a cryo thing just over here.
Yeah. How much room we got in the cart?
Not much.
Not much. But it'll be more once I get this out and manually put it on the thing.
Hey, we got a guitar up here. The fire extinguishers because you're too hot to handle. Hee. Did I miss anything? Oh, there's a whole fucking other door up here. Yeah?
You alright?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
What do you mean, what am I
Are you
doing?
doing
I'm
stuff?
looking for shit.
Okay, good.
He's looking for poop, guy.
I've put 3 things in the cart since you've been gone.
Good. Someone ought to.
Here, I got a tree.
I was singing the Wheel of Fundus song.
I literally was hearing,
Fundus.
I was hearing like humming, like music, you know? And I was like, that does not sound like Gerald, but it also doesn't sound like a monster.
Yeah, I was singing the Wheel of Fundus song. It's the song that plays when you play the Wheel of Fundus. Wheel of Fungus.
I really don't want to go into that room over there, but I'm gonna have to.
Which room? Which room? Oh, the vent?
Yeah, you can see the vent room over there.
Yeah, we'll get there. Yeah, we'll solo it. Did you clear this?
I cleared whatever upstairs I was doing.
Wait, what's up there?
Where's the... Oh, this isn't even the extraction zone.
Yeah. Bubby. 4 more minutes with a bubby.
See, my cat has other food to eat. She just doesn't want to eat the dry food. So it's not like she's starving. She's choosing to be the picky little bitch she is.
Oh, I think I just got, old lady. I think the old lady's after me.
Oh no.
What were we gonna, oh yeah, the freeze-a-majig. Oh, get the freeze-a-majig. Found the old lady. Fire, 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 fire. Uh-oh.
Damn, how many did she take?
She's pretty strong.
Need another one?
Uh-oh.
Oh no! We'll just set you there. Now I gotta go get that cryo tube. Who's that? This way? This way? Yeah, it's right over here. Not so bad, it's just the fucking size of it, you know? Am I going the right way? Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, strong boy. Yeah, strong oomphy. Right. Once we put this in, I'm gonna feed my cat.
Oh no!
I should have said something.
I didn't realize I was that close to
busy
it.
talking about feeding my cat, and Leon got cryogenically frozen to death.
We should move the... There we go, good, good, good.
Wait. We are... Yeah. Hey, let's get Leon's head on. Or that.
I'm right
Push it,
here.
push it. Oh,
It's not gonna make it. It's not gonna make it.
We lost it. All right, I'm
'Cause
gonna.
my head was in the way.
Damn. I'm gonna hide in this ship. Does anyone else want Trace Laser Giga Blazer Laser?
Sure.
I'm gonna hide
Gerald.
in the ship
Gerald.
and pray. What?
May I have some gnome insurance, please?
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
I'll give you half.
Thank
You
you.
want the ducat? You got ducat room as well?
I got
there's
ducat
no
room.
Ducat here, doesn't matter. Alright. If you want.
I mean, I got room for it.
There's no duck right now, so. But yeah, I'll go hide and pray. You know what?
Pray to the Church of the Subgenius.
I doubt it.
You could also
I'll
just.
give you a bunch.
You know what else you could
Because
do? You
I'm
could hide in the
basically
cart.
sacrificial at this point. That work? I feel like I'm gonna be in the middle of everything. You know what? I'm gonna push the cart across this because I feel like we would both benefit from.
Yeah, you
that.
maybe should not let me push the cart across this.
Might have to. You know what? I'm gonna try and loot this area as well. My kitty cat will just have to starve. Cool streamer. Whoa, man.
What happened? Looks like a mini ducket. What is it? Oh, it's a mug. Is there anything else up here? Is it? Okay. This mug is worth the same as Artemis's piss.
I lost the VHS.
Oh, but there's another thing down there.
Did you lose it to the child?
Yeah, I had to look at the ground to keep from dying.
Oh no, the fungus!
You know, I really regret giving you all my health.
I lived!
I don't think I'm gonna. Whoa. Another item in here.
Oh my god, please just go in the fucking cart.
Oh no, I'm cross-walking. Is this one of those?
You know what? Just
It's one of those dark, like,
what?
I just realized this.
What's going on?
Not good at gun.
Found a
Got a-
climbing axe.
Oh, it's a climbing axe. I thought it was one of those things that where there's a shark head on a stick and there's like a trigger and you squeeze it and the shark like closes its jaws.
The child's toy.
Yeah, yeah.
Where are you? There you are.
I'm down. Climbing axe. Alright, now I'm gonna take a sip and hide and feed my cat.
He's coming
Uh-oh.
for me.
I did good. I didn't drop the gun this time, chat. Whole another layer down here, alright. Anything? This whole area spawn with fucking nothing? Oh, hi. What are you hiding from?
I'm not hiding, I'm trying to figure something out.
Okay. Literally, that's it. There was one VHS tape down here. This whole thing was all just for one VHS tape. Okay. Okay. Oh, right. That stupid thing. Come here. Didn't entirely break it. Shift it a little. Ooh. 3 hours.
There's a naked guy. Shh. You hear him?
No.
He's upstairs. Hold on. I see you, bitch.
I think he should be. I'm sorry, I twitched.
I don't care. I'm gonna be honest. Rico's only getting about a third of my attention right now.
I noticed.
They got a new, like, automation style game that just runs as, like, a tab in the background. There's a lot of, like, wire management and making everything look all nice.
So, it's an autistic stream.
Exactly, and it's free. I got 2 new, like, factory games, but neither of them are, like, actual factory games. I like factory games. Hello, old lady. How bulletproof is your skull? Surprisingly bulletproof. Please stay back. Leon, a bit of help, please.
I just had to wait for her to come into view. Did we lose the crystal? Ism? Did we lose the Tism? His head's not bouncing around. Tism! I am so confused right now. Alright, I'm gonna wait here for a minute, and if you're dead, could you please say something? Usually it spits the head back out, but where are you? Did you run away so fast I didn't even notice? Ugh. That's a yes. He ran away so fucking fast I didn't even notice he was gone. This isn't the right way. Where am I supposed to be? Oh, this way? Oh, this is a terrible idea, but no, none of the boys stayed to help me with this. Oh. I'll be honest with you guys, I'm getting a little tired. I think this might be my last round. It's not even like physically tired, it's mentally tired. It's a weird place to put a couch and TV. I've never seen that before. Hey! Artemis coming through clutch. That in better. I'll break this door. More gamer girl piss. One of the most expensive things we could find. Artemis, it's always the piss. Have we been in this room? Does not look like it. Alright, what do we got? We got a VHS tape and that's it. Oh, you are alive. Well, at least he threw me in a corner and not into the death hole. Oh, we're surprisingly close. Shit, I hit the wrong button again! Oh. Oh no, Tism's been picked up. Oh my no, Tism!
The fuck? He threw me.
He threw you in the worst pos. I thought you were gonna make it, but then you rolled off.
He threw me into the hole.
He did.
Fucking bullshit.
We would have survived if I hadn't panicked and clicked the mouse instead of pressing E.
Anyways, back to my little tycoon game.
I think this is my last one.
I've been on my last one.
Uh-oh, is she gonna get Gerald? She got Gerald! Wow, she's having to hit him a fair few times.
Yeah, it's because he has all my health with him.
He gave me all of his health before coming back to the ship. So you gave him your health? She left without killing him?
He gave you... Well, yeah, her goal's not to kill, it's to damage. But, I gave him a bunch of my health, and then he healed you to completion.
Well, he didn't heal me all the way up. He just gave me all of his health. Well, most of it. I thought this was going to be the end of it. But he's still alive. He's just sitting there puking on the crystals. I wonder how long we're just gonna sit here watching Gerald before he gets
Leon,
back.
would you like to see the results of the rampant autism?
You mean like, are you gonna send me a picture?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just.
Oh,
I actually
the
can't
fungus!
really.
It's the wheel of fungus.
So here's the thing: I can't actually show the entirety
What does
of
yellow
how
mean?
money.
Oh.
Here, so I can't really show it well with a screenshot. So I'm just gonna share screen real quick.
Sure. Hold on.
So,
Hold on, I gotta get in there.
yeah.
Oh,
Which one?
what
did
the
I-
hell? The ninja granny wasn't here the entire time. And she just came out of fucking nowhere.
Alright, tell me when you're looking.
I'm looking.
Alright, so, down here we got the little farm, right?
Jesus Christ.
To all these, and then all of the connect to these, then this one connects to this one specifically, and then that connects to my collector. That's the simple one. This is the download farm. There's 16 downloaders that go into 16 uploaders that go into 3 inventories that go into 1 collector.
Ooh, that. I won. Mostly because Gerald wasn't here and you were otherwise occupied. Alright, that's it for me.
Guys,
Oh, now you
just
get
got
back.
back.
You got back like 2 minutes too late, man. You're gonna have to go back and watch your VOD and see what happened while you were gone.
Anyways, I'm gonna...
This is the last one for
Leon and I
me.
are both...
Okay.
I'm gonna go feed my cat and warm up some of the Burger King I've got left over.
Thanks. I guess I better raid out then.
Hoyt, what the fuck?
Hoyt, did Hoyt just know?
Hey,
Hoyt!
Hoyt,
Hey,
you
you
showed
know
up at
what?
the end.
Hoyt?
What?
You wanna keep this party going, just you and me?
I could do.
Oh.
All right, listen.
Oh, okay.
Well, this
I'm
was
done.
okay. This was the
Well, it doesn't-
last. Like we all died, so we got to start over at 1. Okay, but I'm willing to keep playing off stream.
Okay.
But I
Well, I'm
have
gonna keep
I
streaming.
have to go feed the cat,
Okay.
Okay.
and it's gonna take.
You can be the stays in the cart and sprays and dies.
Oh, you don't want me to be truck bitch? You want me to stay in the cart and pray?
No, well, that's what I meant.
Truck
Cart,
bitch.
truck, same thing. Yeah, truck bitch. You can be truck bitch.
Okay. I will start the game for the 2 of you, but I will sit in the truck until I feed the cat.
Okay.
But I am going to raid out.
I wonder who he's gonna raid. Hoyt, who do you think he's gonna raid?
Are you gonna keep streaming?
Not you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nepotism much?
Let's see if there's anybody more worthy of my 1 viewer.
God, there has to be.
And you know who my 1 viewer is? It's Artemis.
Neko Artemis.
But why is my heart?
I could send you over to Zach. Zach is playing Minecraft. I could send you to... a lot of people, actually. Artemis, do you want to be raided into Gerald just to continue the conversation? How about we raid you into Gerald? I clicked start raid. Why is my computer so slow? Oh my god. Please. Alright, anyway. You shall still see me when I get back. For everyone else, have a good night. Take care of yourselves. Hydrate. Take your pills. Eat some food. Get good rest. Be kind to yourself. Just like you're kind to others. Good night.